Aloha and welcome to Exploring Aerial Yoga. My name is Patrick Faris and I am coming to you from my home studio in Curtistown, Hawaii, where today we are going to be talking about Kapotasana, or in the deepest variation, we'll explore Rajakapotasana, Pigeon Pose, or our one-legged, one-foot King Pigeon Pose, or Queen Pigeon Pose, whatever you choose. This is a wonderful inversion, though it is an inversion, so I would recommend having a crash pad, having a spot, always working in whichever capacity is safe for you, and making sure that you don't push this pose as much as we're going to go through different variations. I can do a basic pigeon on the ground, but as I start to bring my leg up, I do cramp a little bit. My thighs are just a little tighter. Ironically, when I'm in the fabric, because I can give into the gravity, I just get so much more traction. I can get a deeper breath. One of the things I love about this pose in a hammock form. So let's go ahead and start making sure that you are safe and working within your capacity. We want our hands inside of the fabric for setup, making sure that the fabric, as we push down all the way, hands outside of our hips, are just going to come to those points of the hips. Maybe you come up to tippy toes. Maybe you can just lift the feet a little bit. That hip kind of pose is always a safe place, whether we're working in the front of the body or whether we're working behind the body. That, of course, is just a really nice point of reference when we start to invert. So as we set up for this inversion, we're going to come around, just putting on our fabric as a backpack and really just making sure that we're underneath our point here, thumbs on the inside of the fabric, fingers on the outside. And as we push down, we really want to keep that fabric at that hip point as we go back. It is normal for people to want to lift up before they actually lift off the ground. But when that happens, if you watch the fabric here, the fabric's going to slide up my back. So it's no longer on those nice little points. Instead, it gets more on our lovey handles and it doesn't feel as lovey. So I'm going to be showing also how to get out of that here, but let's just go ahead and start our inversion in the appropriate way. Fingers, of course, staying down, and I can use my chin here. I can, of course, tilt back. I can use my chin, and as I keep that form in there, as I just start to give weight in, my chin really helps to lift up. Once my feet are off the floor, then I can reach up and legs go wide. Legs always go wide here because you can see that they cross on the poles. So no matter what I do, I can't fall out of the fabric. But let's say I bring my legs together and whoop. So this is one of the reasons why we always want to make sure those legs are wide. Anything crossing on the fabric will keep you from falling out. Now let's say as you go back into that inversion here, your hands slide up, and that doesn't feel too good. Keeping your legs on the other side, yeah, it doesn't feel good. Keeping your legs on the other side of the fabric, I'm going to grab that fabric high, and I'm just going to tick tock, tick tock my hips until that fabric works its way back over that little point in my hip bone. And then I'm back to where I was, where we really want to be. My shirt might slide up here, might get a little loud if it gets too close, so please bear with me. As we are here and our legs are wide, we're going to set up, keeping one leg wide. Another leg is going to wrap around the front and find the middle of that pole. Now here's where it can become a little tight on the inner thigh, but this is also what makes this pose in a fabric a little beneficial, as we've talked about in our Vrikshasana or tree pose. When you get that pressure on that femoral artery, you get almost like a little bit of a compression therapy. So if you can, pushing the knee forward and pushing the foot back, and as you do, you can really push that foot back here. A lot of people like to work on this in what we call candy cane, which of course you can work into an inverted mountain pose, which is really nice. Feet always want to go out. Keeping those feet nice and in is just a nice way to go there. So extra pose just while we're here. But keeping that foot back as we start, our extended leg as it comes to join in our classic lifted, just kind of gentle pigeon pose here. We're gonna keep that leg rounding around like a clock hand, never letting the leg come up and over because of course it comes to the center and our hip could fall off. So keeping that leg around and over with your breath if you can. Move it so that the feet are in line with the shins, pushing back. And you get this beautiful form that is just kind of classic here. You can stay here and breathe, or if you want to, you can reach back with one hand of your choice, grabbing that foot from the outside or the inside, or if you want to, grabbing with both hands. And this is where it becomes a little bit more of a nice, beautiful, deep stretch that is just hard for me with the pressure on my knees, the heaviness in my thighs. But here I am releasing so much in my back, my shoulders, just breathing wherever it feels good. Coming out, you of course can do this exact same variation on the other side, but we're of course going to take that leg and just like a clock hand, we're going to bring it back the same way. The benefits of this is you feel the glutes go glunk, glunk, glunk. So really nice. And on the other side, I'm going to go a little deeper. So as I find that pull, I now can take that other leg out into the other side, but instead of this foot going through the center of the pole in the opposite side, I'm going to go over both poles. This is going to keep my shin in line with my hips and of course my shoulders. So same with the opposite leg, as we are going to wrap it around like a clock hand. I can feel those nice little glunks in my glutes. Now you can see there's a lot more square hip action going on here. So one hip may not lead as much here. You can dorsal flex and plantar flex that leg foot that's against the fabric because it's not on the ground. And again, if you want to go a little deeper here, you of course can reach back, grabbing that leg. Beautiful open forms. Maybe play with those feet because they are free. Nice, beautiful deep breaths. And of course, as we open up here and come up, you can always use your hands to pull yourself up. But if you want a little bit more of a challenge, try to redistribute the weight with just the legs, knowing that your feet and your chin are 2 points, extreme on each end, where as I tuck my chin and point my toes, my body comes up. But if I undo my chin, my body comes back down. So toes and chin can really help the body coming back up. And of course, because we are inverted, coming back to that lovely ragdoll, head to heart, maybe feel deep breath into that pelvic floor, the depth that you've made in your spine here, soft form, coming back up when you're ready. One of my favorite poses to do in the fabric, Kapotasana. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. Mahalo. Namaste.